This is a review of the Sunjoe 12.6 inch 12 amp electric scarifier and dethatcher, model AJ801E. I got this for dethatching and aerating and for seeding. The last 2 years I used my Sunjoe electric tiller by running it lightly over the lawn to use it to dethatch and scarify the lawn, which seemed to work reasonably well, but I thought I would try the tool that was actually designed for that job. In the first video, I'll cover the unboxing and assembly of the unit. In the next video, I'll demonstrate the use and how it seems to be working out on my lawn. So let's put the thing together. Assembly. Step 1, connecting the handlebars. Insert the lower handle into the motor housing and secure it with the 2 Phillips screws. So there's a hole down here. Push this in and insert it all the way till it hits the stop. The screw and washer are here. Put it through the hole and screw it in. Something's wrong here because it's not going in easily. I'll try moving this. Oh, there we go. I rotated the bar about 5 degrees and then it was able to enter the hole. Okay, that's done. It's the right side. We'll repeat it on the left side. Sure I've got it lined up properly so it's more likely to find the hole. And yes. Alright, so okay, they're on. Figure 2. Secure the 2 middle handlebars to the lower handlebar using the first set of knobs and bolts. Tighten the knobs on each side to ensure a secure fit. Alright, middle handlebar knob. I'll have to take the screw out of this. We'll line the hole here. Leave the hole there. And let me see if this looks right. I'm going to pause this for a second. All right, continuing on. The bolt has sort of a square section just below the head. I was looking for a corresponding square section in the bottom post, but there isn't one. There is one here, which I would think should correspond to where this thing should sit in. Yet they show this going on out in the outside. Yeah, that's correct. All right, so I'm going to pause this again. So what's confusing me is the diagram in the instruction manual shows the middle bar going on the outside. The problem I have with that is to make the square on the bolt with the square on the middle bar, which I assume is what it's there for. The middle bar has to be mounted from the inside rather than the outside, which is what I'm going to do. Which again is the opposite as what they show in the instructions. I suppose you could force it and force the square into the round hole, but I'm not going to do that. It doesn't make sense to me, even though it shows it in the instruction manual that way. So let's repeat this on the other side. Again, the square on the bolt with the square on the hole. For that to work, it has to be mounted from the inside. And then little plastic twist knobs go on the outside. Now, the diagram does show those twist knobs on the outside. It's just that the diagram shows this middle bar mounting on the outside, which again, as I said, will not let the bolts match up correctly. All right, 2. All right, it says hang the extension cord stabilizer on the middle or on the handle. So let's get this label thing off first. I'm inserting this picture here to show what the top of the handle looks like, showing the strain gauge in the middle of the handlebar and how the upper bar is connected to the middle bar, because it got chopped off in the subsequent video. And it's already on the middle thing, but they want this hanging, I believe, from the center. At least they show it in the diagram, hanging from the center of the handlebar. This is the thing you're going to put your extension cord in to take the strain off it. And let's see. And then they show this thing going up like so. So we're going to need 2 more bolts. And again, the holes inside these posts are round. So the only way you can mate up the square is to insert it into this middle post square. And then we'll line that up with this hole here. And put the knob on. That's snug. And we'll repeat it for the other side. And the bolt goes from the inside out so that the square in the bolt can get locked into that middle section. Okay, and the knob. Alright, that's on snugly. I'm going to move this forward a little bit. Alright, so connect the upper handle to the middle handlebar using the second set of knobs and bolts. Tighten the knobs on each side to secure a secure fit, which is what we just did. 5. Fix the cord with the cord clips to the middle and lower right handlebar. So here are the 2 cord clips. We will secure that. See how it shows the cord lined up. So looks like it goes under the knobs. So seems like we got a lot of extra cord here. I'm going to start with the lower clip because I don't know what we're supposed to do with all this extra cord here. Seems like it's longer than it needs to be. So we'll put this one, I'm going to leave a little slack in it to take up the extra distance. Not so much to get snagged on the wheel, but just enough to take up the slack. Okay, so that's one. And they can be, you can slide them easily up and down to align the wire to keep it out of the way. I'm almost wondering whether this would be better off on top in order to keep it out of the way here. Well, I'm just going to put it like this for now. Again, these things are freely movable, so I can adjust their position later if it looks like the wire's getting in the way of anything. Alright, so those clamps are in place. Here's the cord, strain relief gauge or bracket there. And I believe it is assembled. Now, the unit comes with the Scarifier. Get this right. It's already installed. And you would pull off those 2 screws near my hand, and to pull that Scarifier out and replace it with the power rake or dethatcher or whatever you want to call it here. And so yeah, this is one of the reasons I'm trying this rather than use my tiller again for this thing, is it gives me 2 additional types of times depending on exactly what I want to do to the grass. Do I just want to rake off the dead brush, thatch and stuff? Do I want to scratch into the soil maybe an inch with this Scarifier? Or do I really want to dig in and chop it up deeper, depending on what I'm doing, seeding, cleaning, whatever, or redoing a whole basically tilling an area in order to put in new cedar sod. So the next thing I want to show is the adjustment of the height. This is really well done. Let me just move this over here. So basically you have this huge lever here, and you've got 5 settings from 0 in the center, +5, +10 millimeters, -5, -10 millimeters for your depth options, and 0 being ground surface, which is where it's set at now. And all you have to do is you just push it in, and then you just go up or down. It's that easy. And then when you're at the setting you want, let's say I wanted it -10, you just release and it locks in at that setting. You don't have to do it on both wheels. Adjusting it right here on this knob on the right side, I guess right side is you're operating the tool, is all you have to do. So again, to move it back to 0, I just push in, raise it to 0, release, it locks in at 0. Then I'm going to move the camera up a little higher, and we'll show the starting. So to start it, there's this safety button here. You have to push this in, and then you pull this back, and then it turns on. If you just squeeze it, you don't hear the switch turn on. It won't work like that. You have to first push this, and then you hear a little click as it turns on and comes on, which I think's really good, so you don't inadvertently grab the handle and turn it on when you don't want it on. So the next thing that I want to demonstrate is the catcher bag. And like other people who have reviewed this tool, I have a problem with this catcher bag because of its size. I mean, I expect to pull out a ton of thatch. I mean, when in prior years when I used my tiller to dethatch, I mean, I had trash cans and trash cans full of thatch. Now look at the size of this thing. I mean, this is a joke. I mean, they say it's 8 gallons, and I think it's correct, but 8 gallons is like nothing when you're talking about thatch. I mean, you have you need to get a truck to haul that stuff out. It's so, there's so much of it when you do this job. Then they say you shouldn't use the tool without this being attached. Well, this is going to fill up in half a row, and then what? You're going to have to stop every row and change it. Anyway, putting it on and taking it off is easy. You got these 2 little protuberances, steel that come out the side, and you just line it up with the groove. There's a groove here. You just line those 2 things up, put it on there, and then you're done. You put that, make sure that goes around there, and the bag is on. So it's not hard to put the bag on and take it off. But, God, on my lawn, I bet I'd have to do this several hundred times to complete a job, which I don't know. So then what do? They say it's not safe to use it like this with the bag off. But I think I'm going to put on my body armor and use it that way because, what I've got in mind is using my dethatching mower to chop up the thatch, and or use its bag as a lawn sweeper to pull out, what would be maybe 2 or 3 times the size of this in one pass. So we'll see. I'm not sure how that's going to work. That'll be the next video. When we actually take it out on the lawn and try the different heads, the sweeper head or the dethatcher head, the scarifier head. Try it on different height settings, on different areas of the grass. I've got different areas of grass that have different challenges as far as dethatching go, and we'll see what combinations work and which ones don't.